Good day, everyone. Welcome back to our webinar series. My name is Soden Posunju. I work with Drive Electric Resource Center, and we provide information about electric vehicles to the public. Today is going to be another day for us to discuss a topic about electric vehicles. Um, Today we're going to talk about the physics behind electric vehicles. So one of the questions I normally get in the center is how does it work? What are the principles behind electric vehicle? So I want to talk about it briefly and sure to answer some questions about it. At the end of this webinar, you should have identified the major parts of an electric vehicle, the uses of each part, and also about regenerative braking. Yes, that's another point I want to pass across to everyone about regenerative braking. Okay, this is an electric vehicle. Is parked beside a charger, and you see it plugged in already into the charger. So this is just a pictorial representation of an electric vehicle charging at an electric vehicle charger. Yeah, into the details of the day. Now we just want to talk about electric vehicles briefly. I mean, in past webinars, we've discussed extensively about what comprises of an electric vehicle, but just for this webinar, we'll just brief on it. So, an electric vehicle is a vehicle that functions by getting charged from the grid and storing its electricity in the battery. So, electric vehicles, as compared to your gas cars runs on gas that produces combustion that turns the wheels by thereby causing motion. That's how your car is able to move. But in terms of electric vehicle, rather than you having gas, now what causes the motion is the battery. So electricity is being stored in the battery of the vehicle that causes motion. So that's the principle by which electric vehicle operates. So the charge battery, so that's when you charge the battery, right? Powers the electric motors, and then the electric motors turn the wheel, which makes the vehicle to move. All right. So there are three different types of electric vehicles we are discussing the former webinars, right? We've talked about the plug-in hybrid, we've talked about the hybrid, and then we've talked about battery electric vehicle. That's just those are the three different types of electric vehicle. Now I want to talk about major parts of an electric vehicle. So we have the electric motor, we have the inverter, we have the drivetrain, and we have the battery. Now, the electric motor power provides power to rotate the wheels. That means provides power to rotate the wheels. Your inverter converts electric current from DC to AC. Now, listen, in your vehicle, your electric vehicle, the what goes in or your vehicle is being charged. Once it's charged and ready to go, the electricity saved in the battery is in DC. But once what you need to drive, it has to convert the energy from direct current to alternating current. That's what your car runs on alternating current. So that's the job is being done by the inverter. So the drivetrain is another part of an electric vehicle, which is single speed transmission that transfers power from the motor to the wheels. And then the battery, of course, is what stores, your electricity. That's where you store your electricity. That's enabled you to run the vehicle. So this is a Tesla, an electric vehicle, and I just want to, show you exactly where each of the parts are located. So we talked about the electric motor here, and then here you can see the electric motor is underneath front. Then The inverter that converts electricity from DC to AC is located here, just underneath here. The drivetrain is located here. The batteries are obviously underneath, and then of course this is where the charging spot is, right? Another technique I want to talk about. I mean, right now we've spoken about the different parts or the major parts of an electric vehicle. I mean, there's still other parts, but just this just gives you, some of the most important parts in the electric vehicle, right? And now we want to talk about another technique in EVs, which is regenerative braking. Now, what happens here is, yes, the energy is being used, from the battery to move the vehicle. But what a lot of people don't understand is, yeah, when you take your foot off the gas, or yeah, off the gas in your electric vehicle while you're driving, some part of the energy is being returned back into the battery. So this technique is just called regenerative braking. So now, like I said, when you're driving, and you take your foot off the brake, off the gas, um, energy that was used, to move the car forward, or for in terms of motion, the reduction in motion causes some energy to go back into the battery. So this technique is called regenerative braking. That means it's not really losing so much energy, it's putting some energy back into the battery, right? So like I said, now this is a technique in electric vehicle where energy is put back in the battery due to electric motor slowing down the vehicle, like exactly what I said before. Taking your foot off the gas or accelerator, and that puts back some energy back into the battery. So it captures the kinetic energy from braking and converts it to electrical power, which is sent to the battery, right? And then the energy that is sent to the battery is first converted from AC, that is alternating current, to direct current by the converter before being sent to the battery. Now, like I said before, when you want to, move your car, like your car is in a state of inertia, and at that point in time, the electricity in the battery is in direct current. So for your car to operate, once you switch on your once you start your vehicle, uh before it receives electricity from the battery, it has to convert it from the inverter converts it from direct current to alternating current. That's how your car operates. But now, in terms of regenerative braking, once you take your foot off the gas, for it to return back to the battery, is returning from AC. Your converter has to change it from alternating current to direct current. So that's the operation, or that's the principle by which regenerative braking occurs. So the of course the main purpose of regenerative braking is to conserve energy. Okay, situations where regenerative braking takes place when driving down a hill, during deceleration, that's slowing down, and then usually during the stop and start traffic. That's when you decelerate and accelerate as well, as the needs may be. Yeah. So in summary, now we've discussed about the different parts of the electric vehicle. We talked about the inverter. We talked about the drivetrain. Um, we also talked about the batteries and electric motor, and then also we saw the function of each of them, and then we touched briefing about regenerative braking. Um, yes, I will advise, or I suggest, all questions that should be asked for this webinar should be sent to this email as displayed on your screen, and we shall get back to you immediately. So, thank you very much.